it simply doesn't help the Republicans to use this line of attack.
Is it tougher to attack a woman without facing a backlash?
The DEI hire thing, I think, is a little bit weird, but I also think that it's...
Yeah, it is tougher to attack a woman, and it is a little tougher to attack a woman of color, because for all our talk about equality, we still have residual parts of ourselves. And if you're on the right, you have a larger medieval part of yourself. And if you're on the left, this is a smaller part. But we do tend to treat people differently. We do tend to treat adults differently from children, men differently from women, people of color, black people differently from white people, right? That is just kind of built into the way that we viscerally react to life. And then the more left wing your identity, right, the more submerged and the more beaten down is this medieval visceral reaction to treating people differently.
Something that is indicative of the real story that was actually going on in the selection of the vice president, which is that, frankly, the Biden family, including Joe Biden, wanted to pick Amy Klobuchar. That was not something that was a secret. It's something that was widely reported at the time. They preferred her, okay, and they were forced to pick Kamala Harris because of a lot.
So Amy Klobuchar also has a track record of treating her staff terribly. So people on the left use much more egalitarian rhetoric, and they purport to value egalitarian democratic decision-making more than people on the right. But still, even while using this egalitarian rhetoric, just like people on the right, they can be terribly abusive, right? There's rhetoric, and then there's reality. There are the things you say and there are things you do. And many people can profess all sorts of ideals that they don't come anywhere near to living up to. This is true for Kamala Harris, true for Amy Klobuchar.
A lot of the forces around him that wanted to have somebody that would make the ticket more diverse.
Right.
And now, frankly, those are the same people who are pushing him off the ticket in favor of her. And I think that that's something that, really, was troublesome to the Biden family at the time. And whether you want to, and I don't think it's a DEI hire because I mean, come on, she was an attorney general. She was clearly qualified. This is not just picking somebody at
Glad
random.
to have that on the record. But let me turn to Laura because I want to play a brief soundbite from Donald Trump. This was after that Kamala Harris, among other Democrats, did not preside or show up in Congress for Bibi Netanyahu's speech, but she did meet with him the next day. Roll it.
But she's totally against the Jewish people, and it amazes me how Jewish people will vote for the Democrats.
Laura?
Let me just first jump in on the DEI hire issue. You know, when Speaker Mike Johnson is telling Republicans to tone it down on the race and the gender talk, that it is wild times because those are Republican staples. But with respect to Netanyahu, she
Right, you don't get to decide the field on which your every battle is fought. Often the enemy decides the field for you, and it's simply a generally losing issue for Republicans to paint Kamala Harris as unqualified or as the DEI candidate.